On March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization officially declared COVID-19 a global pandemic. A few days later, on March 15th, the shutdown of all non-essential institutions began. And among the first of those major institutions to be shut down from normal operations were many Christian churches. How is it that the central healing agency in the world was the first to shut down in the face of the worst disease the world had seen in generations? I believe it's the same reason less than 10% of children from Christian homes have any memory of a parent praying for them when they were sick. And it raises a question I've begun to ask doctors, nurses, and any other healthcare worker, including mental health professionals I encounter. Have you ever been identified, equipped, commissioned, or anointed by the church as a healer in the way of Jesus? Do you have any sense, regular, occasional, or otherwise, that you are being sent out by the church to carry out your vocation as a mission of healing in Jesus' name and authority? Has your church ever prayed with and for you as an agent of Jesus in any identifiable or designated way for the fulfillment of your vocation in the medical profession? Despite lots of prayers for God to guide the hands of the surgeons, I have yet to meet a healthcare professional who has been set apart and prayed for in the body of believers as a healer in Jesus' name. Thankfully, there remains widespread belief today that God heals. But there appears to be very little confidence the Church of Jesus Christ has much to do with that healing. We are not facing a deficit of faith in the power of God to heal. We are confronting the absence of a practical theology of healing in the local church. Here's the invitation. It's not to start a healing prayer group at your church, as good as that would be. My invitation is to plant this book like a seed into the soul of your own heart, into your hopes for your church and city. This book aims to raise up new generations of Christians to follow Jesus the healer and so become healers in his name. So here's to parents praying for sick children and vice versa, not as the last resort, but as the first aid. Here's to our local church altars being regularly filled with anyone and everyone who works in the healthcare profession and industry for prayer, consecration, commissioning, and fresh anointing for their participation in the healing ministry of Jesus. Yes, here's to recovering the church as the central agency of healing in the world. And when the next global pandemic rolls around, and it will, may the church be ready to meet that moment in a way that reveals the great physician superintending the fully orbed, supernaturally engaged ministry of his church, blessing the world with healing. J.D. Walt, Sower-in-Chief, Seedbed. 1. Participating in the healing ministry of Jesus. Healing played an essential part in Jesus' 3-year earthly ministry. In fact, along with teaching and preaching, it was one of his 3 major activities. The Gospel of Matthew sums up Jesus' ministry in Galilee like this. Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. Chapter 9, verse 35. Cross-reference, chapter 4, 23 through 24. Not only did Jesus heal, but he insisted that his disciples and followers heal as well. Sending them out 2 by 2, he gave them authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. Matthew 10:1. And he commanded them to heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Matthew 10:8. And they did. But what happened after Jesus died, rose, and ascended into heaven? Did his ministry of healing come to an abrupt end? Definitely not. It merely assumed a different shape. Now Jesus' healing ministry, like his preaching and teaching ministry, continues on earth through his body, the church. Yet, what exactly does that mean for us today? What is Christian healing ministry supposed to look like? How do we go about it? What forms and expressions should it take? Furthermore, how do we evaluate it? And how do we determine whether the healing ministry we are involved in